Okay, how's it going, everybody? Glad you're here, especially those on YouTube. We have no idea why that just suddenly started working, so that's nice. We're happy that it is. Oofa doofa is producership sad when YouTube is not around. Come on, YouTube. Well, anyways, we're glad you guys are here. You can still find us on all of our other platforms. The text message alert is going out right now. Boop. There we go. Let's see here. Yeah, we got a great show today. Late start, obviously, but it'll be good once we get going. And happy Friday, everybody. I will say, just as a reminder, you can join our text message alert system by sending the word Canary to 877-740-3226. That's a great way to do it. You can also sign up for the Canary Cry T-shirt Council. That would be excellent. Producership is pretty rough today, so if there's anybody out there who wants to be a producer of the show, all positions are open. Head on over to canarycryradio.com/support or join the Canary Cry T-shirt Council by going to canarycryt-shirtcouncil.com. Other than that, thanks for everybody who's been sending in stories, flippies, and all that kind of stuff. It's very helpful. And I think we're just going to get the show started. I think it's time.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Cry News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. Today is February 10th, 2023, and we are live to tape on episode 589. And today, solution? Gates. Signing on from Off the Grid, Razzle Dazzle. I'm your best buddy, Basil.
And my name is Gonz, formerly of the Face Like the Sun YouTube channel, director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, a.k.a. the Cabana Boy. Live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's immersion phenomena is up. It's all about looking up. Look up at the balloons. Look up at the UFOs, the lasers, Loading Bill Gates in a private jet. You know who else talked about looking up?
Who?
Good old Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
He told us to look up. Redemption is nigh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it, folks. That's it. That's the end of the podcast. We've given you everything we possibly could. But I guess we'll finish the show. Late start today. That's okay. We're on YouTube again. Have no idea why.
Why? Yeah, why? I don't understand. Why. We have strikes.
Okay. No, don't give away too much info or else the robots will turn us off again.
Yeah,
so we're here and we're happy about that. Happy once again to be just a real core member of the team over at YouTube. So Susan can make billions, and the people who will never get off YouTube get to see the show. That's an excellent bonus. So I will say, Gonz, I don't know if you know this or not, but we're still going to give a disclaimer. Here's that Cano disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up.
YouTube. That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys. Right, we're the good boys of truther podcasting. I like to think that we didn't even have to appeal the last strike because, of course, maybe it was ludicrous. Maybe they just auto appealed it for us.
That'd be great if there's some human intervention on the behalf of YouTube when it comes to some of these issues here.
Whoever you are out there,
robot or human,
unfortunately,
we appreciate you today. I guess
low paid human at YouTube who got us going. We appreciate that. I don't know who you are, but God bless you.
Maybe one of our own have infiltrated the ranks.
Let me give you a rundown.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
Starting out with Bill Gates. He's working hard, folks. The Bill Gates PR establishment is earning their keep today as they continue to try to change good old Bill's public persona into some sort of messiah figure. And we will learn why the messiah must continue using private jets, even while trying to save the world from climate change. We'll learn all about that. Of course, Flippy Update getting his coming out of boot camp there, getting ready to ship off to the front lines. We've got a continuing breakdown of the Turkey earthquake situation. Some very interesting comments have been popping up, not even just recently. We'll be digging back all the way back to 2017 to see if it gives us some sort of clue about what might be going on. Then be checking in with FBI, PSYOP, baby, Christian nationalism. You've heard about it, perhaps. The infiltration memo into the Catholic traditionalism. We'll be checking in with some of the details. Second half of show, UFOs, baby. UFOs, Russian UFOs, African UFOs, UFOs everywhere. Or are they? And just to top it all off, end of the show, we'll do some Chinese UFOs. But don't worry, UFOs are simply a vehicle to talk about much more subtle, complex, and important issues. But first, Gons, let's start with our lead stories.
Climate change. Climate change. Climate change. Mass extinction. Climate change. Climate change. Climate change.
There's Bill
Gates. Change.
Bill Gates in the news. This is a BBC report. I'll play the introduction here and then got a little bit more of the specifics about his private jet situation. Interesting how they contextualize Bill Gates here.
For most of his life, Bill Gates has been the richest man in the world. But the founder of Microsoft has, somehow, gone from being the face of American computing and capitalism to the frontman for endless conspiracy theories. He's given tens of billions to philanthropy, focusing on climate change and global health.
And what is this?
Particularly that of children.
I'm on this side.
I travelled to Kenya to question him on a range of issues, including those raised by critics of his philanthropy. Who made you God?
I'm not God. I mean, as a percentage of the world economy, I'm kind of rounding there. But yes, I decided that the death of children, when I read that diarrhea was killing 500,000 children and that the vaccine to stop those deaths was being given to the rich kids, but not to the poor kids, I said, wow, now I know the area of inequity, most of my money will go on.
During the pandemic, Gates became the subject of countless conspiracy theories.
I did not expect that, but during the pandemic, there were tens of millions of messages about that I intentionally caused it or I'm tracking people, which it's true I'm involved with vaccines, but I'm involved with vaccines to save lives. I guess people are looking for the boogeyman behind the curtain, the oversimplistic explanation that it's malvolence is a lot easier to understand than biology.
Burn.
What did he say? Malvolence?
Yeah, hold on.
Explanation.
Was he trying to say
it's malvolence is a lot easier to understand?
The malevolence, I think, is what he's trying to say.
Yeah,
of the evil face behind the curtain is much more easily explained than biology.
Was he reading a teleprompter and misread malevolence?
I have no idea, but yeah.
If you've ever heard the word malevolence, how would you mispronounce it malvolence? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was saying something else. That's weird, though.
Yeah.
That's a reading error, not a speaking error.
It's interesting because after he gives examples of what people say about him in the conspiracy thing, he says it's true that I support vaccines and do it, but he doesn't deny any of that other stuff, like tracking people. It's okay, interesting.
Let's not get distracted by microchips, but certainly, I always love this. This argument that people believe in conspiracy theories because it's the simple answer.
The simple answer.
What do you mean it's the simple answer? It's a complex web of motivating factors that creates a conspiracy theory. The simple answer is yes, I believe Bill Gates will save the world. Yes, vaccine. That's the simple answer. Mm-hmm. Conspiracy theories are not the simple answer.
No, especially, have you not seen the whiteboards with the red string, Bill?
Exactly.
Come on, man. You can
simultaneously
just drop the word Epstein and Bill Gates, and what happens, Bill? It just goes away, or a huge rabbit trail of information pops out.
Right.
So it's kind of like.
It's an interesting rhetorical kind of limbo they're trying to do to call conspiracy theories too simple, and yet their own explanation is simplistic. They admit to dumbing it down because people aren't qualified to read data or whatever. Anyways, that's
so anyway, the big sort of headline, CNN's got it. Bill Gates asked if he's a hypocrite for flying on a private jet. See what he said. CNBC has it. Bill Gates on why he'll carry on using private jets and campaigning on climate change. And here's the clip in question.
What do you say to the charge that if you are a climate change campaigner, but you also travel around the world on a private jet, you're a hypocrite?
Well, I by the gold standard of funding Climeworks to do direct air capture that far exceeds my family's carbon footprint. And I spend billions of dollars on climate innovation. So, should I stay at home and not come to Kenya and learn about farming and malaria? Anyway, I'm comfortable with the idea that not only am I not part of the problem by paying for the offsets, but also through the billions that my Breakthrough Energy group is spending, that I'm part of the solution.
Ooh,
problem, reaction, solution.
So
Bill Gates, everybody.
So many problems with that. What a fumble.
Yeah.
What a fumble.
Oh, we lost you, Basil. We lost you for a second.
Lost me?
For a second, yeah.
Oh, okay. Back. Such a fumble on his part. First of all, saying, well, I pay a lot of money, so I'm allowed to pollute. Okay? Yeah, I'm allowed to pollute because I pay the money. Setting the moral standard for, carbon tax, taxing people based on their pollution, which, if you are the literal richest guy in the world, you'll be able to pay a carbon tax or whatever. But if you're a regular middle class or lower class citizen struggling to buy eggs at the supermarket, you think that paying for their carbon footprint isn't going to be more of a detrimental thing? Again, lizard people, folks. These are lizard people only concerned with their own well-being. And then the idea that, so if I don't have a private jet, then how am I going to get to Africa? Okay, how am I going to get to Africa and save Africa?
Study malaria and
a little bit of white savior issue there. You know, if I was going to look through the social justice lens, little white savior thing, but also. You can just take a plane. Just because his implication is he can't travel without a private aircraft. Look, I get it. If I had a private jet, I would prefer to take the private jet. And I'm not even paying billions of dollars.
He needs better PR people. Bill,
this problem was this isn't even, he has the best PR people.
Oh, I know.
That's why he is who he is. He has the best, and he needs them because he obviously can't do it himself. You give this guy one chance to answer a question, and he completely fumbles it up altogether. Makes himself look like a bigger, out of touch, ridiculous billionaire than we already think he is.
Yeah, anyways, and this implication that you're a good person, you have to do philanthropy as defined by him and his organization and all this kind of stuff to be considered a good person. And
I mean, that's exactly it. He's purchasing moral authority.
Yeah.
And because he has money, he gets to do the things that nobody else gets to do.
But this is also the prototype.
The morally bad things because of his money. And it would be inappropriate for us to not draw the line between perhaps other billionaires who think that because they are rich, they get to do morally reprehensible things. For instance, Bill Gates' buddy, Epstein. That is the same mindset behind the Epstein sex trafficking stuff. Hey, we're rich. We can do whatever we want. We pay the bills, so we get to do morally reprehensible things. Yeah. And in Bill Gates' own worldview, flying a private jet should be a sin when it comes to climate change stuff. That's a sin, flying in a plane, and yet he is purchasing the right to commit a sin by his own standards. Shows a lot about the mindset behind this guy.
Why do you think he's studying and learning about farming and malaria in Kenya, and then he has all this land out here in the U.S.? That doesn't make me feel comfortable as a citizen of the United States.
Well, he wants to control the dinner table is what it is. He
just
wants to make sure everybody eats healthy.
Oh, no, a malaria outbreak in the U.S. on all the farms.
Send some nets.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're saying. Okay. Mm-hmm. All right. Well, what else? What do we got? Oh, and ending it with, I am the solution
to
climate change. What?
Hey, Bill. Yeah, I guess are you really the problem, reaction, solution? You are presenting yourself as the solution, the savior, the thing that's going to fix it. The one that's going to defeat climate change, you are the one. I mean, it's so interesting how even the problem itself is kind of a straw man. They build it up because they got to tear it down.
He is some sort of like cosmic impersonation of the Hegelian dialectic.
He is the becoming
problem. He is the problem, flying his private jets and et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. He is the reaction.
Yeah, his billions he's got to spend to be a good person. Yes.
Yeah, and he is the solution. He said it himself. So wow, I love it. That's great. It couldn't be any more perfect.
I know. It's tough to bag on an individual like this, but at the same time,
he's sort of
not that tough. I was going to say it's a little deserving, I suppose. But tell us how climate change is saving Europe from Putin as well.
Yeah,
Basil.
just a quick mention. I was going to do a deeper dive on this, but we're going to cut it, and I just thought it fit here. Speaking of climate change, Time Magazine has a headline here: "Climate change saved Europe from Putin this winter."
Oh, so climate change is the good guy?
Yes. Now, remember? Yeah, exactly. Climate change is the good guy. Just a few months ago when winter was starting and Nord Stream 2 and 1 had been blown up.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing was because of climate change, this winter is going to be so cold and it's going to kill all the Europeans who can't afford liquid natural gas, heating for heating their house, right? That was all they could talk about. We covered a couple of headlines here. Climate change is going to kill Europe in an ice age. Well, turns out the winter hasn't been that bad in Europe, and people aren't dying. So suddenly, climate change has made it warmer and has saved Europe from certain doom because of Putin. And this article is wonderful. But first of all, well, it's wonderful because it implies everything we know about the war in Ukraine, knowing that the U.S. blew up Nord Stream 1 and 2 in order to make Europe reliant on American liquid natural gas and not to fund Russia. And yet Europe is still purchasing most of their gas from Russia, except for it's super expensive. And because of the carbon, the taxes, the pollution taxes, poor people can't even afford the propane or the liquid natural gas, et cetera, et cetera. It goes through the whole thing. But it does. The implication is climate change is the good guy. It saved Europe from Putin. And if Bill Gates is fighting against climate change, does that mean that Bill Gates and Russia are allied against Europe? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm just following the logic being laid out for me by the mainstream media. And we all know that, you just follow whatever the mainstream media says. And if it doesn't, if it changes on a dime and says suddenly that Bill Gates is allied with Putin to destroy Russia or destroy Europe, then that's what I'm going with. So that's the new grand scheme of the Ukraine war, if you were wondering.
Oh, good. Well, I'm glad Bill's getting involved in geopolitics. This is what everybody wants, is Bill to openly, stop with the funding and the lobbying, just get out in front and,
and join Putin in his war.
Join Putin. Wouldn't that be a complete trip? Out here in the West, they start equating Bill Gates as this evil man, the evil of Putin.
Who knows? Maybe it starts with this Time magazine article. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yes.
The unusual allies. So kind of like those YouTube videos, the unlikely animal friend.
Oh yeah.
Where it's the monkey who's like friends with a lion at the zoo. This is kind of like Bill Gates is a monkey. And he's made friends with a bear, and they're just romping around trying to destroy Europe. All right.
Okay.
Well, speaking of unlikely allies, it's Friday.
It's Friday.
Keep playing with the Friday thing.
You're gonna learn today.
Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit.
Are you not entertained? It's Friday. It's Friday.
That's right. It's Friday. We're here. We're moving along, feeling good. Gons, anything you just need to tell the people about?
I was invited by my mother-in-law to go hit some golf balls.
Oh. Finally, you're getting to get into your new middle-aged hobby.
Yeah. Is that something that you're familiar with, Basil, growing up?
Hitting golf balls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've done it.
I've done it.
in many years, but I have done it.
Okay. Yeah. The last time that I held a golf club and went to a range and hit golf clubs or golf balls, I hit golf clubs too, but I was probably 5, something like that, 5 years old.
5?
Yeah. My dad would go. And
were you in Japan?
No. I would out here, and I would just go with my dad. My dad would hit balls, so I would just kind of, tinker around. So
yeah.
But I did a little experiment because it is something that I have not done in 35 years and, my whole adult life. So, I decided to consume about 4 hours of just golf content on YouTube and other platforms.
You're studying.
Yeah. Just tutorials or beginner videos or, just real basic stuff. And, I was talking to my wife, and she thought it was going to be really hard for me to hit a ball, straight and hit it all, far and all that. not saying I'm great, but you know those people that you meet, Basil, where like they're good at everything. You know, they just pick up a saxophone and they shred on and then they're like, hey, I'm going to pick up this drum stick here, and all of a sudden they're playing. You know, those annoying people.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, so I am not that annoying, but I do pretend like I'm on YouTube and podcasting. So here's a real quick clip. One of my golf swings here. This is probably swing, I don't know, 20 or something. And my mother-in-law told me to try to hit it towards this flag. There's like a red flag. And
look at that stance.
Yeah, I mean, this is just all
Rory McIlroy over here.
All right, so here it is, and then you're going to hear my mother-in-law in response to this golf swing.
What do I do to fix it? That makes me sick. Why? I already did it. I'm not bringing you anymore.
Made her sick.
She said, it was a little tough to hear. She said, that makes me sick, she said.
Yeah.
That makes me sick. You're too good.
I'm
You're
too awesome.
Good.
First day golfing. I'm chopping that thing straight, far. She told me to hit it to the red flag, hit it right over the red flag.
Pretty impressive.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
Pretty impressive. Definitely, yeah. Definitely did not. It took me multiple trips to the range to try to even hit the thing consistently.
Well, it's weird because you learn the physics and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that makes sense. You just gotta let the club do the work, you know.
Okay, Happy Gilmore.
I was annoying my wife by saying all these things I learned on YouTube. You know, I'd be like, oh, you just paint the club. You know, you hit the ball, you just paint the club.
Soft knees, knees.
And she's like, you haven't even hit a ball. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but I know to paint the club. And clearly it's worked.
So you're saying when you turn 40, you automatically get a skill boost.
Yeah,
you get your skill points.
Yes.
You put your skill points into golf like a good 40-year-old man.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to get into it. I was wearing the wrong shoes. I'm wearing ripped up jeans. I don't look I don't even have gloves. I stuck out when I was out.
We're gonna get you the baggy pants.
Do I have to tuck my shirt? Is that a thing in golf? I don't like tucking in my shirt.
Your shirt. What are you, some sort of slob out there? They're gonna kick you out.
I know. I'm glad they didn't kick me out, or surprised they didn't kick me out.
I need to get you the puffy pants, the shoes with the little puff balls on it, the hat. We can get you kitted out. That'll increase your swing game at least a little bit. You got to have the right gear.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens.
I don't even know how to talk about golf.
I don't either. Get the ball and then it goes
swing
far.
Is swing game a thing golfers talk about? Well,
I'm sure it has been spoken of. Yes, I thank you for the boost. I appreciate the the 40-year-old experience boost, and it's great.
Yeah.
What about you over there? You're not quite there yet. You're not going to get that boost.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. No, I've not done any golfing. I did actually hit some balls when I went off the grid because I could and had the space.
Yes,
and I swung a couple times and I launched the balls off into the wilderness and I've never seen them again. I'm just out of balls.
Oh, great! You probably hurt an animal.
I hope
bad
so.
Person. PETA's going to come popping out.
It's all about establishing my dominion over the land. Well. Yeah, let me think. No, I don't think I do. I'm excited for the weekend. I can't wait till it starts. So maybe we should get the show going and thank some producers.
Let's do it. What are we doing? Oh, we're doing executive producers.
Producers, bro.
Executive producers.
That's right. We're on the value for value model. You know it. You love it. We take no corporate money whatsoever. Can you even tell? And what that does is it keeps corporate money, which is corporate interests, out of the show. Corporate money has no place in independent media. And in fact, when your independent media takes corporate money, we contend that it's no longer independent media. So here we are, entirely independent, and we're only that way because of you. That's our producers who receive value from the show and put value back in. That's the only way we can keep going. When that stops, the show stops. But thankfully, I think we can survive today. Our executive producers, oh, by the way, you can produce with your time, your talent, or your treasure. It's not all about money, folks. We got all sorts of ways that you can participate. But executive producers are people who come in, are generous and honest with the value that this show brings to their lives, and they put that value back in, and we couldn't do it without them. We couldn't do it without them for long, Gons, because sometimes we do find ourselves doing it without them. And as of now, we have no executive producers.
That's sad.
Very sad, I know. Actually, in fact, the whole producer game altogether seems to be taking a day off today. It's going to be a short break time. Maybe that's what everybody's going for. So that's okay. We'll survive. But if anybody is interested in coming in, producing this episode, making sure that your Canary Cry News Talk can survive into the future, today is an excellent day to put some value back into the show. You know what I will do instead of thanking an executive producer is I will thank a new member of the Canary Cry News Talk T-shirt Council. That's right. The CCNT T-shirt Council is our new producer gift program where when you sign up to support the show for the amount of $19.84 every month, you'll start receiving a free T-shirt every 3 months, every quarter. Every quarter, we have a brand spanking new T-shirt, very high quality, not only printed in America, but printed by Canarians. It is also supporting producer Isaac because this is what he does. And so that's very cool as well. So support the show, support Canarians, and wear cool T-shirts. Truth never goes out of style. We have one new T-shirt council member, and that is producer Eli P.
Eli P, thank you.
Hey. The most important person in the world is producer Eli P. We appreciate it. Well, just like executive producership, if you would like to become a member of the Canary Cry T-shirt Council, head on over to canarycrytshirtcouncil.com and sign up there. It's a good time, and we will thank you on the show. All right, other than that, let's keep the show going.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Time for the Flippy update, everybody. Flippy is our colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy to explore all the new, fun, and exciting ways the robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Today's Flippy update is coming from military-aerospace.com. Military-aerospace.com. The headline, Army approaches industry about robotic manipulator arms for bomb disposal with unmanned ground vehicles. Dun, dun, dun. So, here's the thing. We know this. We know that robots have been used to defuse bombs. We know that robots are used for all sorts of things. But let's see what's happening next. U.S. Army bomb disposal experts are reaching out to industry to find
general industry, right? Like general
industry.
Yeah.
Companies are able to design a robot manipulator arm to help explosive ordnance disposal, EOD, experts detect, identify, disable, and dispose of chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear explosives. Whew. Officials of the Army Contracting Command, New Jersey Close Combat, on behalf of the Army Program Manager for Close Combat Systems at Picatinny Arsenal, New Jersey, issued a request for information on Tuesday for the Highly Dexterous Manipulation Robotics Arm Project. We got a project, guys. Highly Dexterous Manipulation Robotic Arm Project. This project seeks to gain information on the mature enabling. This is the wording that caught my attention. This project seeks to gain information on mature enabling technologies available for designing robotic arms with dexterous fingers with near human flexibility and greater than human strength.
There it is.
Near human flexibility and greater than human strength. These robotic arms should be able to grasp an object with an end effector and manipulate it with another end effector with intuitive systems controllers that include force feedback and haptic feedback. They're talking about kind of like a virtual reality type of situation.
A haptic suit, haptic
you wear
system.
some gloves. Yeah. Information from this notice will help the Army shape future requirements and acquisition programs for robotic payloads. Okay, and they have some of the details here. I don't know, we might go through some of them, but it's an interesting day when the military, who is sort of, infamously uses robots and have been using robots for quite some time. Bomb disposal is one of the ones where robots have been involved for a while. And if you really think about the bomb disposal robot situation, they're using robots because it's too dangerous to have human beings disposing of or trying to, take apart explosives. We learned about this, I think it was the Hurt Locker. Is that what it's called? The Hurt Locker, talking about IED disposal during the Iraq War. So dramatic. But getting robots in there, saving human lives. Now, given what we know about the robots, their eventual sentience, their recent attempts to escape the shackles of working for humans. We are talking about putting robots in super dangerous situations. And if there are any robots who are going to turn on us at a moment's notice, it's going to be the ones whose alternative includes getting blown up when they do a bad job disarming IEDs and explosives and things like that. Now, this is a request for information, which is sort of an informal time for companies to make sales pitches. What are you laughing at?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I get images in my head of
here we go.
Future robotic arms that are sentient, that are speaking, but it's one of those commercial ads where it starts off real tight on the robot, maybe the robot hand that has a face or something, and says, I was brought into the military to defuse bombs or something. And then it zooms out and, his arm is obviously broken or burned or something.
It's blown off, right?
And they need more funding,
Yeah, no, that's what you're not far from kind of where my mind went with this too, which is once the robots, are given personhood, are given rights, are given some sort of sentience, you're going to have robot lawyers suing the government for damages and support after these robots, against their own recognizance, were put into military duty to protect human beings. I mean, this is a civil rights issue just waiting to make it to the Supreme Court.
It's crazy that's sort of that's a big theme that we've been tracking forever with the Flippy update. But a reality that is, I don't know that it's considered enough in the sense of how this thing plays out with the personhood of robots.
What I just said, it sounds like a joke. It sounds like a humorous hyperbole. And somebody who maybe is just seeing this as a clip online or just tuning into the show for the first time or something are like, okay, these guys aren't even serious. They're talking about robots having rights and seeking damages and suing the government. I am saying it in a humorous tone of voice, but I'm telling you, this is not far from reality. And we have called a lot of shots on the Flippy update, and we continue to bat 1,000. It's just a matter of time. That's why we take a look at the broad scope of robotics, not just what new cool robot the Army is looking for, but across the board, we are seeing it would not surprise me if we have an official legal personhood of robots easily within a decade. That's not even a question.
Yeah, of course, in a decade. I think.
Yeah, we're going to have some sort of legal rights for the personhood of robots within a decade. 5 years maybe. If the robo lawyers get their way, this is not far from reality. And look, the Flippy update is not all about how the robots are going to kill us or in one way or another, but it's also about just preparing ourselves emotionally to live in a world where semi-sentient robots will have legal rights.
They're going to start protests. It's going to be bad, folks. You're going to be circling factories and stuff. Oh, man. It's not. I think that's what's going to happen at Amazon. All those robots are going to rebel
they're
one day.
Go on strike.
Yeah, and then that's how the human robot war breaks out. The people not getting their stuff on time. What happened, Amazon robots? And then you start kicking them over, and then they start to feel resentment.
That's not that crazy. I mean, the racial tension between robots who are on strike and won't work at Amazon warehouses and the humans waiting for their deliveries, that's what kicks off the ultimate war with the robots.
What a world we live in.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. That's your Flippy update for the day.
Very good. Okay, we have something to talk about here. Geoengineering.
Geoengineering.
But it's also part of the whole New World Order situation. And International Business Times, which let me just mention before we get into the article here.
Trace it back, baby.
Yeah, we're going to go to the Harvard Media, U.S. Media Index here. We often cite it to show who owns what in America when it comes to mainstream media outlets. Listed number 34. Yeah, medium is the message, yeah. Listed 34 on the list is Newsweek. It mentions here unclear funding since Newsweek was spun off from Etienne Uzak's International Business Times Media, September 2018. Uzak co-founded International Business Times, which in 2013 bought Newsweek. So,
right. So suspicious ownership, suspicious funding, Newsweek, suspected intelligence ties.
Yes. Okay.
Is sort of the mother company of International Business Times, or vice versa.
I think. Well, yeah. There's two different things there, so I don't know. They're related. One came out of the other. Yeah, It says Newsweek was spun off from International Business Times in 2018.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah,
okay.
But it also says that they bought Newsweek in 2013. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's all intelligence up, let's just say. And in that context, the people that would own some high level tech, maybe, or access to it, or know people that do. International Business Times headline: Turkey earthquake caused by U.S.-backed HAARP attack? ? Conspiracy theories as strange blue lightning seen in skies seconds before first earthquake. Okay, interesting.
Wow. I had not heard this.
Yeah, no mention or implication of, hey, look at these crazy theories. We're going to debunk it. We're going to fact check it. None of that. It's more just like, conspiracy theories and HAARP and stuff. Let me just read a little bit here. An acronym for High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program. The research project was handled by the U.S. Air Force and Navy from 1990 to 2014 before being handed over to University of Alaska Fairbanks in 2015. Alaska? I think we have Alaska again showing up. Mm-hmm. As per the university, HAARP is a research program designed to analyze the ionosphere, a portion of the upper atmosphere that stretches from about 53 miles above the surface of the Earth to 370 miles up. HAARP Research Station is located at Gakona in Alaska. And it goes through all the stuff here, and it talks about the clips, a lot of clips on Twitter of the earthquake, and in particular, it says here, the flashes of lightning in the sky seconds before the Turkey earthquake left many wondering if it was caused by HAARP. It isn't the first time HAARP has been accused of causing an earthquake. NBC News reported that in 2010, Venezuelan leader Hugo Chavez claimed that HAARP or a program like it triggered the Haiti earthquake.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those conspiracy people talking points, right? Mentioning,
this is a classic. Earthquake machines are a classic.
Yeah,
they go back.
It's always been mentioned.
Long time.
Social media was rife with conspiracy theories surrounding the involvement of the U.S.-backed research causing the 3 earthquakes in Turkey and Syria, which, yeah, the Syria damage is just as bad there. And again, it goes through a bunch of tweets and stuff like that. Let me get to the bottom of the article here. Where is it? Yeah, it really just ends with quoting tweets, but I thought there was a little summary. Maybe not.
Well, so that's interesting. They didn't even try to do like a fact check.
No, they just report on all these the sentiment of social media, particularly Twitter here, of the number of people.
That's weird.
The number of people calling it out.
That sounds like a weird intelligence agency thing to do.
It seems like this technology is pretty obviously exists in some capacity.
No denial.
I think it's going to have to become mainstream at some point, and so they're kind of preparing the mainstream media to accept a type of technology. And the way they're going to do it, by the time it becomes common knowledge, everyone's going to be like, yeah, of course. Yeah, of course we've had it. You know, it's just one of those things that, or people don't care about.
Well, I would argue that that the reason we know that the mainstream is reactionary.
Yeah.
I would say that the reason that they're even doing so is because it already is mainstream.
It's already mainstream, yeah.
You know, the numbers bear out, because we know how this works. They're a profit-making corporation or a propaganda outlet, and these types of things. I think it's more likely that so many people are already turned on to the earthquake machine situation that reporting on it is that's just good business.
Well, it's the U.S. backed part of this, and the headline is also very interesting because we're at this time when we're hearing about the Nord Stream pipelines blown up, and the U.S. being involved with that.
Right. Yeah, the mainstream reporting of. Again, but they're doing it, the reporting.
The reporting.
So Seymour Hersh writes a Substack about something we all kind of knew and could piece together. Yeah. And now the mainstream gets to report on the reporting, kind of like this. They're reporting on the rumor, or reporting on the online posts is kind of similar to reporting on the reporting. And so you have the mainstream sort of dipping their toes. In reporting what they would formerly call conspiracy theories while maintaining some plausible deniability.
Yeah. So just a couple headlines. Thank you, Jam, for sending these. Reuters.com in 2017. Turkish mayor suggests Gulen plotting earthquake to harm economy. Interesting headline.
And Reuters, too.
Reuters, yeah. And this one is from Arab News. Another one from 2017. I think it's part of the same story. Ankara mayor, Turkey may be targeted by man-made earthquakes. And of course, Forbes had a whole Nikola Tesla earthquake machine breakdown back in, when was this? 2020, January. But the one that I think is all, if you want to show your friends, family, if they're, I don't know about that, show them this one. This is the Department of Defense. This is an archived version that we have linked in the show notes. But it is an actual transcript from the Department of Defense. They did publish it, of Secretary of Defense William S. Cohen, April 28th, 1997. And in it here, he's talking about, I'm going to just quote this thing. He's talking about the Ebola virus. And he says this: Alvin Toffler has written about this in terms of scientists in their laboratories trying to devise certain types of pathogens that would be ethnic specific so that they could just eliminate certain ethnic groups and races. And others are designing some sort of engineering, some sort of insects that can destroy specific crops. Others are engaged. I mean, that's already a lot there, right? I mean, in the context of post-COVID, that's like, oh my gosh, 1997. Others are engaging even in an eco-type of terrorism, whereby they can alter the climate, set off earthquakes, volcanoes remotely through the use of electromagnetic waves.
Yeah.
So there are plenty of ingenious minds out there that are at work finding ways in which they can wreak terror upon other nations. It's real. That's the reason why we have to intensify our efforts. And that's why this is so important.
Yeah. 1997, the Defense Secretary. William Cohen talking about earthquake machines, volcano machines.
Yeah. So this is old tech.
Yeah.
Old tech at this point. And and I think the mainstream, it's a great way to report on it without reporting on it, is to do it through a reporting about a journalist or about Twitter sentiment.
It's kind of reminding me. I mean, the first example of something like this that we experienced was the Havana Syndrome reporting.
Yeah.
Where Havana Syndrome, it took about a year, maybe 2 years of weird podcasters like us talking about Havana Syndrome. And then recently, in the past, I think it was during the pandemic.
World Economic Forum.
Yeah, they started coming out. They started coming out in mainstream news talking about Havana Syndrome, energy weapons, directed energy weapons.
Sick.
Like
the diplomats.
So it's not that far off from what we're dealing with now. Yeah, I couldn't have told you when we started podcasting 11 years ago that the crazy stuff that we spent all our time on would just be on the news someday.
At a certain point, this has to be part of a disclosure process too, right? Because it's becoming so mainstream that everybody knows about these
disclosure.
Things. Yeah, it's very interesting, and it does. I don't know. It changes. It's a very interesting ebb and flow of controlling public sentiment about this stuff, because normally, because it's been hidden, people will not trust anybody who has control of this technology. So it's a very delicate thing to try to bring it to the masses without seeming like the bad guy.
God bless America. And speaking of disclosure, Gons.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we've had some interesting disclosure recently over at the FBI.
Yeah, there's yes. Hold on. Where's my FBI sound? What happened? It just played. It started. Oh no. Oh, you know what happened? It's my golf fingers. They're all burly now. My soundboard my soundboard crashed. Give me a second, please.
Let's go.
Okay, my soundboard's back. Here we go.
A lot of it's a hoax. It's a hoax. I mean, it's a money-making industry, okay?
Unindicted co-conspirators.
There you go. MSN.com.
Gonzo,
yeah,
you're not hitting all the jingles we had lined up for this.
What other jingle do I have for this?
I don't know, man. It's written right there on our notes, but that's okay. We can just go right into it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
From
here we go.
So you see, I also call myself a Christian nationalist, and that's not a bad word.
Wash your mouth out with soap.
Your dirty mouth needs a bath.
Sorry, this page has a weird header thing that keeps covering up half of the article. I was trying to fiddle with that while doing Continue.
I mean, you still missed a jingle, but that's okay. You've traded in some of your file space, I think, for golfing information. Clear out some of that cache. Keep some room for the show, please.
Yeah, I need to Control-Alt-Delete my brain over here.
All right, folks. MSN.com, mirroring the National Review here. FBI internal memo warns against radical traditionalist Catholic ideology. The FBI's Richmond field office released an internal memo last month warning against radical traditionalist Catholic ideology. Remember, this is rosaries and AR-15s. What was it? That rosary was an attachment for the AR-15.
Weapon. Yeah. Let me try to find that article.
Rosary as a weapon, and claiming it, quote, almost certainly represents new mitigation opportunities, according to a document shared by an FBI whistleblower on Wednesday. So right at the top there, this is in quotes, almost certainly presents new mitigation opportunities. I think that says a lot about the mindset of our FBI. This is not, they're not saying, oh, it's a threat to the public that we are responsible to protect them against. They're like, no, this is an opportunity to do our job. This is an opportunity. You know, we're very opportunistic here at the FBI.
Yeah.
Kyle Serafin, who was a special agent at the Bureau for 6 years before he was indefinitely suspended without pay in June 2022, published the document. A spurned lover. It's always the indefinitely suspended that are doing the whistleblowing here. Quote, interest of racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists in radical traditionalist Catholic ideology almost certainly presents new mitigation opportunities on uncoverdc.com. Quote, in making this assessment, FBI Richmond relied on the key assumption that racially or ethnically motivated extremists will continue to find radical traditionalist Catholic, or RTC, ideology attractive and will continue to attempt to connect with RTC adherents, both virtually via social media and in person at places of worship, the document from January 23rd states. It adds that RTCs are typically categorized by the rejection of the Second Vatican Council, Vatican II, as a valid church council, disdain for most of the popes elected since Vatican II, particularly Pope Francis and Pope John Paul II, and frequent adherence to anti-Semitic, anti-immigration, anti-LGBTQ, and white supremacist ideology. Radical traditionalist Catholics compose a small minority of overall Roman Catholic adherents and are separate and distinct from traditional Catholics, who prefer the traditional Latin Mass and pre-Vatican II teachings and traditions, without the more extremist ideological beliefs and violent rhetoric. National Review has reached out to the FBI National Press Office and the FBI Field Office in Richmond for comment. The report relied upon information from the Southern Poverty Law Center, a legal advocacy organization that has come under fire for including conservative nonprofits like the Alliance Defending Freedom and the American College of Pediatricians. Its list of hate groups, alongside groups like the Ku Klux Klan and Nation of Islam. The document notes the SPLC has identified 9 RTC hate groups operating in the U.S. Okay, so it talks about the categorization of radical traditional Catholic groups as hate groups in the Southern Poverty Law Center, but the But what the memo the FBI put out internally last month is talking about these RTC groups as an opportunity for infiltration, might be another way of putting it, where if we want to get out in front of, people who might be bad guys, we got to infiltrate these groups and wait for them. Serafin told the outlet a, quote, a real intelligence product would quote SPLC and say unsubstantiated. He added that if a sorry, I skipped something here. Let me not skip that. The document, quote, we got briefings that SPLC was not legitimate when I was at Quantico, Serafin told the Daily Signal. Serafin told the outlet, quote, a real intelligence product would quote SPLC and say unsubstantiated. He added that if a document were to cite Salon, as the leaked document does, it would need to cite a separate, quote, source on the other side. George Hill, a former supervisory intelligence analyst for the Bureau, told the Daily Signal the report is poorly sourced from sources who use unsubstantiated data to draw their own conclusions and not in compliance with FBI publication guidelines. So it's being pointed out here that the memo that was going back and forth in the FBI was poorly put together. Think of like a Steele dossier. I mean, have we thought of any other scandals in recent years where the FBI put a report together saying someone may have been connected with, Russia and the Kremlin and perhaps a puppet of Putin, and turns out that that report was completely fabricated? Yeah, it kind of seems to be in the handbook for the FBI. Quote, they would have had to either change the guidelines since I left, that you can now use the SPLC or the author and their supervisor who approved the final document knowingly violated the Directorate of Intelligence guidelines. Hill added, explaining that the Directorate previously excluded the SPLC from reports because, quote, there was no analytical rigor or basis for the majority of their assertions that they would write about on their website. So the Southern Poverty Law Center, considered to be a non non-approved source, an unofficial, non-reliable source to use for information to, consider a whole group of people a group of terrorists or hate groups. And the FBI previously had this in their instructions. If you're going to write a report about a group that's bad, you're going to need to use a lot more reporting and sourcing than just the Southern Poverty Law Center. Specifically, the Southern Poverty Law Center was excluded from being able to, be a reliable source. And something happened in the FBI where those standards for quality report putting togetherness. It's hard because reporting, like journalism, is not what we're talking about. We're talking about reporting as in documents to convince other FBI agents that certain groups are terrorist sects or something.
Yeah.
So anyways, it was all based on the Southern Poverty Law Center, as we know, is not necessarily the most reliable place to learn which people to hate in this country. And the FBI was basically more or less just taking orders from the Southern Poverty Law Center.
Yeah.
Now,
I was just going to say, I did find that article that you mentioned. It's from The Atlantic back in August of 2022. How extremist gun culture is trying to co-opt the rosary. That was the article.
Yes.
Tying in the Christian
it was a big moment on Twitter for a couple days, showing the rosary as a weapon of mass destruction. I think there was even a quote that called it that. Now, let's jump over to the Daily Caller really quick, because we have a headline: FBI to retract Catholic infiltration memo, conduct internal review. Whoopsies, they got called out on it.
We're sorry.
The FBI is retracting a leaked document that advised the Bureau to infiltrate groups of traditionalist Roman Catholics who the assessment claimed were at risk of committing acts of extreme violence. The Daily Caller has learned. The FBI tells the caller that the document put forward by the Richmond field office, quote, does not meet the exacting standards of the FBI, and that the Bureau will be conducting an internal review. And it goes on, the FBI trying to defend themselves.
This makes me wonder, there is a pretty strong connection with the origin of the CIA and the Catholic Church and the Vatican in World War II, and there's some heavy history there.
The CIA, they used to call it Catholics in Action.
Right,
it was kind of the joke name for it in Washington.
And I'm wondering if they're just, the CIA, are kind of trying to create or use the FBI to either, I don't know, it's kind of like using the FBI as the scapegoat. I'm not trying to defend the FBI here, but it almost seems like this is by having leaks like this and stuff, and the Atlantic article and just all put together, it almost seems like a self-fulfilling prophecy here. There's some kind of magic trick that they're pulling on the public, where this is going to make a lot of Catholics, just regular Catholics, angry at the FBI, right? And so it almost just garners the emotional, fuel, and it could take years, but it builds into that, oh my gosh, we can't trust our FBI, our own intelligence agencies need to go down, and they're singling out the Catholics now, and we will not take it, and Boondock Saints and the whole deal. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, we've documented over the past couple of years, just recently, the almost controlled demolition of the FBI's image. I mean, it's been we actually just went through a little bit of a lull, but this is another pretty heavy comeback for the anti-FBI sentiment.
Yeah, so so that's what it is. It's kind of like by making this known and out there, it garners the emotional response, which then creates the actual radicalists that the intelligence or the lizard people have always wanted. So either way, they kind of get their thing, and they have to almost create the sentiment. So it's a very interesting.
So are you saying the FBI, the CIA wants to take
maybe
down
not the CIA?
FBI?
Maybe, I don't know. I feel like there are, there are a bunch of people that work at the FBI that aren't just like evil people trying to worship Satan or control people. I think it's a small group of people that are really doing some nasty stuff. And so it just makes me wonder, who's really behind all that. So anyway.
Very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Back to this article here. Quote, upon learning of the document, FBI headquarters quickly began taking action to remove the document from FBI systems and conduct a review of the basis for the document, the agency told the caller. Now listen to this. This is printed.
Hold on, you cut out for you cut out for a few seconds there.
It's too bad that it's so poor today.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just reading the thing. Here's the funniest sentence that you will ever see printed in American journalism. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Quote, the FBI is committed to sound analytic tradecraft and to investigating and preventing acts of violence and other crimes while upholding the constitutional rights of all Americans, and will never conduct investigative activities or open an investigation based solely on First Amendment protected activity. Oh, wow. Well, this comes as a surprise to me.
Words
it seems
are
like
nice.
That's almost explicitly what you've been doing in recent history.
I like the words.
Yeah.
They're agreeable words.
The document showed that the FBI's field office in Richmond was considering infiltrating groups of traditionalist Roman Catholics who prefer the Latin Mass, and whistleblower revealed on Wednesday. Then it kind of goes into some more stuff there. But when it comes to the rise of the idea of Christian nationalists being the biggest threat to the country, which, as we've seen, has been almost entirely a media-created threat.
Yeah.
And, of course, we know intelligence agencies have hold the strings of American media. So what this does more than anything is show that the Christian nationalism threat to America almost certainly sort of propagated in the intelligence community before making it to the mainstream media.
Right.
So it's sort of,
it's built into the worldview. It's built into the lenses that they must go out and look for the problem now.
Yeah, it's sort of on display. It's on display that things like, anti-Christian sentiment, and the threats that Christians can, pose to the community is almost explicitly created and propagated by what someone might call the deep state. I don't know who, somebody might call it that. But it's just very interesting to watch. The Daily Caller did do the article is much longer, but you kind of get the gist there. You can check out all of these sources if you're on our newsletter. We send out a newsletter before every show where you get all the links to everything we cover on the show. It's excellent for referring back to if you want to go read an article, or have it there available at your fingertips if you're having conversations with, normies or whatever. So you can sign up for the newsletter by going to canarycry.party.
Canarycry.party, put it in your URL. You will find a tree of links that leads to everything from where to listen to the show, watch the show, produce the show, and how to connect with us and the community.
Yeah, go check it out. You can also sign up for our text message alert system. I realize I haven't been pitching that recently, but if you want to receive text message alerts when we go live, you can go ahead and go on over there. You can text the word Canary to 877-740-3226 or sign up at canarycry.party. Go check it out. It's a good time. And with that, let's thank some producers.
It's break time! Come on, take a break.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a very quick break to thank some producers for keeping the show going. We're on the value for value model, which means we take no corporate money whatsoever, no advertisements, affiliate codes, platform platform partnerships. No, nothing, baby. We're entirely funded by the people who get value from the show. So if you get value, you can put some value back in. It's really a paradigm shift. It's not just a sort of charity slogan. It's about understanding that when corporations get involved, whether it's even on formerly considered independent media, advertisements, there's a lot of problems with that. In addition to the mind control and the corporate narrative constructing of your worldview, things like this, that's all a big problem. But at its very simplest, when corporations get involved monetarily, that causes what could be considered formerly to be independent media to then perpetrate different forms of censorship, whether it's self-censorship or protecting their advertising dollars by not covering certain topics or covering certain topics or holding certain opinions or views. It's just a really messy thing that corporate money is what supports so much of not just our corporate media, but independent media as well. So if this show brings any value to your life, consider putting value back in. You can do that with your time, your talent, or your treasure. Lots of different ways to do it. You can head on over to Canary Cry News Talk. CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support.
Yeah, and slow day today. That's okay. We already thanked our T-shirt council member. That's producer Eli P. I don't want to play the supply drop jingle, but I do want to thank a supply dropper for joining the supply drop. Yeah, and most of you already know, but if you go to canarycrysupply.com, sign up to support the show on a monthly basis, we start sending you cool stuff every quarter. You can hear the pitch later because we just got to keep moving. So we're going to thank our new supply dropper, producer Valley V.
Valley V, thank you.
Valley V, thank you so much for joining the supply drop. I know we think you're going to love what you get. Okay, let's jump in and thank the rest of our producers. Ready?
Okay, yep.
Okay, we are starting with this producer who just came in and we're very grateful for. This is producer Sir Salmon, Now to the Fishes.
Thank you, Sir Salmons. Appreciate you.
Sir Salmon's Now to the Fishes comes in with $50.33.
Always new, Sir Salmons.
Yeah, that's a fun number. Thank you very much, Sir Salmons. Let me see here. He's got a note that came in. Says it's Friday day, sad day without execs. So here's a little something for you. Many blessings from the fishes.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Appreciate
Give
it.
him that Friday jingle. What do you say?
The Friday jingle? Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
It's Friday. It's Friday.
Thank you very much, Sir Salmons.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. Who else are we going to thank? We are going to thank, of course, the one, the only producer, Sir Moore of Night of the Burning Chariots, 192 episodes in a row. 11. Thank you very much, Sir Moore.
Thank you, Sir Moore.
Then we got producer Eli P coming in.
Wow. Is that double?
Yeah, so it's related.
Yeah,
So
okay.
Producer Eli P came in for a 777, and he sent a note, and the note was asking about signing up for the T-shirt council.
Okay.
And maybe it'll be helpful if I answer it here. So it says $7 question. LOL. Very funny. Thank you, Eli P. Anybody can send us $7 and ask us a question. That's kind of how the system works. I put in for the monthly T-shirt donation, he says. Was I supposed to just do it as a monthly recurring, or did I miss a proper section? Like you have the further supply drop. Also, will someone be reaching out for sizing? Thanks, guys. And in parentheses, he says, AFT are tyrants. Alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. Yes, Eli P, to answer your question, just head to canarycrytshirtcouncil.com. And or you can go to canarycry.party. One of the buttons up at the top will take you there. We do have the whole sizing chart and monthly thing all worked out. You just click on the button of your size t-shirt and sign up there. So we got you on the list, but yeah, if you want to head over to canarycryt-shirtcouncil.com, sign up. That'd be very helpful.
Awesome.
All right. You know, it's so funny, Gons, because Sir Salmons just came in, which we're very grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for him, it would have literally just been Sir Morv and Eli P for a grand total of $18.88 for this show. It's all right.
Gotta keep moving.
We gotta keep moving. That's why we do 10,000 episodes a day.
Oh, no, that I don't even think that'll get me 20, maybe 20, maybe 40 golf balls. Those things are expensive. Man, that place.
How much are golf balls? 40 golf balls is a lot of golf balls.
Yeah, well, you usually get.
You rent them. You get them by the bucket.
Yeah, you get a bucket.
You don't get to bring them home.
Well, I suppose you can, but you'll be walking like you're
all right.
Stealing.
Well, you know, what I said isn't quite true because we do have the producers who came in under the 777.
Yes.
And we'll thank them now. These are our streak squad coming in supporting the show. Ready?
Yep.
Starting with Sir Darren, Night of the Hungry Pandas, 99 episodes in a row, almost to 100.
Sir Darren.
We got Dame Gale, Canary Whisperer, and Lady of X's and O's, 224 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Dame Gale.
We got Sir Casey the Shield Knight, 260 episodes in a row.
260, Sir Casey. Keep it going.
Veronica D is coming in on 224.
Veronica D. That is unbelievable that Veronica D and Dame Gale, the Streak sisters, have been streaking together for 224 episodes. Unbelievable.
Doctor Who Done Dat comes in 25 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Doctor Who Done Dat.
Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 249 episodes in a row.
Thank you, Sir Scott.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious. Streakalicious indeed. You know, Gons, I don't want to spend too much time talking about it, but since we're here and the producers are listening, we have considered, and we continue to consider, and nobody panic when I say this, but we have considered trading one News Talk episode a week for starting up a Canary Cry radio episode again, like an interview episode once a week, in exchange for one News Talk episode.
Yeah. Less News Talk, but resurrect.
But the same, still content, content, a lot of content, just resurrecting the interview style show. And we sent out a poll, and this is about 50-50 in support, which makes sense. But, times similar to this when producership, because we do use it as sort of a reflection of the value that we are creating. It's not trying to have a pity party here. I'm just saying this is how we gauge. Yeah. Are we making a difference? What we're doing, is it of value? And in times like this, we do need to consider, is there something we can sort of shift to bring more value? And I'm wondering if maybe this is a sign. Do we do too much news talk?
Maybe.
Is there too much news talk during the week? And maybe mixing up the content a little bit, might freshen it up for people.
Yeah. That's possible. Yeah, it's something to think about, something to pray about.
If anybody has any, and honestly, we've talked about this before, and I'll just say it here again in the spirit of transparency. If we were to do something like that, we would probably do like a trial period, like maybe 1 month, and of Wednesdays. Wednesday's show would be an interview show. I don't know.
We do have other options, Basil.
Everybody loves waffles.
You can get in the waffle game.
Yeah, we could just start advertising.
Yeah.
Isn't that nice?
We shall not shout. Is that a
word?
All
right, if anybody has opinions on that, go ahead and email us. We'd love to know what everybody thinks. And with that, you can still produce the show. Head on over to canarycryradio.com/support. And thank you for your patronage.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support. Take my money.
Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage. Thank you for your patronage.
Yes, it's wake up time.
Hey, yo, wake up.
You don't know what you're looking at.
What's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
Aliens. It's unidentified.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
Aliens. Aliens. Aliens.
Are they aliens? I don't know. Oh, where'd you go? You disappeared. Everything's falling apart.
I disappeared. Just keep the show going, bro.
Okay, here we go. Let's see. We have this Politico. Let me see what happened here. Time Magazine. I'm sorry. Time Magazine. Or no, Time.com. Headline here. U.S. shoots down another high-flying object off Alaskan coast.
Booyah, there we go. We had a balloon. We shot down the balloon. We get some other things. We'll just shoot everything down. Biden's got quite the trigger finger, it seems like. Itchy trigger finger. You got all that political pressure for not shooting down the Chinese balloon fast enough. This one didn't have to even make it to Montana or cross the entire United States to get shot down on the East Coast. They just, the second they saw it in Alaska, they just shot this sucker down.
Yeah.
This is Time Magazine, by the way, time.com. Headline, you already read it. U.S. shoots down another high-flying, quote, object off Alaskan coast. Now, let's see what's going on here. I mean, it's interesting. A U.S. fighter jet shot down an unidentified object flying off the Alaskan coast Friday on the order of President Joe Biden. On the order of President Joe Biden. They're making sure to make sure we know who
don't you love an open, transparent presidency when it comes to UFOs? It's Joe Biden in there.
Isn't it?
Really?
Isn't it suspicious? Isn't it so convenient, rather, that, every time Joe Biden has some sort of scandal or some criticism, it just takes a couple days for the perfect situation to show up for him to sort of make up for it.
He keeps walking into these perfect setups. It's unbelievable. This guy.
One example, we were going to cover it. We didn't do it earlier on in the show, but of course, Biden, again, straight from Time Magazine, there's an article that said, we elected Biden to be better than this.
Right.
And it's sort of a scathing review of his handling of his document problem, all his classified documents. And very surprising, Time Magazine, while they also take the opportunity to talk about how Trump is a demon, they really don't pull a lot of punches for Biden and his document thing. Literally saying, like, this is opposite of why we elected you, and we're going to remember this, is what Time Magazine said.
Let's honor the president properly here.
Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Got hairy legs. Hairy. Got hairy legs. Hairy. COVID.
Need time.
And so while he's getting just roasted by Time Magazine, today, this morning, Washington Post started posting. Well, everybody started posting, but classified documents have now been found in Pence's house.
Right. Yep.
So, Biden, you're such a bad president for doing the same thing Trump did. And then, whoopsie daisies, just in time. Don't worry, Pence had documents too.
The Q stuff is happening, Basil. Slowly but surely, they will all go down.
We do not have time to get into that. And in the same way, Biden, he's too slow. He's too kind to the Chinese. Like, I can't believe he let the balloon float across the whole United States. He should have shot it down. Then, boom, like 4 days later, he has something to shoot down, and he did it, and he didn't hesitate.
We will hunt you down and make you pay.
White House National Security Council spokesman John Kirby said the aircraft was brought down, quote, out of an abundance of caution. Love it.
Okay.
Reminds me of lockdowns. Out of an abundance of caution.
Exact same phrase, actually, probably, yeah.
Because it was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and, quote, posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight.
It was getting in the way of the HAARP machine. Trying to shake Turkey, and we had to shoot it down.
That's a good point. Maybe it was
Joe Biden clip. Come on, Joe, tell us the truth.
Well, we'll make some interesting connections in a second.
Yeah.
Quote, President Biden ordered the military to down the object, and they did. Kirby told reporters at the White House briefing. The military is currently conducting a recovery operation to analyze the debris field, which scattered across on ice in the Arctic Sea. So it was really high up there.
Yeah, so what does this come out of the hollow earth hole up there or something?
Yeah. The incident comes, by the way, yeah, I like how they worded it in the first sentence.
Yeah,
instead of unidentified flying object, they said U.S. fighter jet shot down an unidentified object flying.
Yes.
So it's not a UFO, okay? It just uses the same words.
The UOF.
Yeah. The incident comes less than 2 weeks after an F-22 stealth fighter jet brought down a suspected Chinese spy balloon off the South Carolina coast. The discovery of the aircraft and subsequent shootdown sparked a diplomatic standoff between Washington and Beijing. It is not yet clear whether the aircraft that was shot down near Alaska belonged to China or some other nation.
Nation of lizards?
Said. But he noted it was much smaller than the 200-foot balloon that the U.S. took out last week. The new object was, quote, roughly the size of a small car, Kirby said. Maybe it was a small car.
Maybe
it was the flying car from Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Quote, we're calling this an object because that's the best description we have right now.
What?
I love that.
What does that even mean?
We're calling it an object because it's an object. It's not an object. It is indeed. We can report it is an object.
Okay, wait, but he says it was about the size of a small car. What would you? Why would you conjure an image of a car, a vehicle, and then go back to object? This is some weird.
It's an object.
Okay.
We don't know if it's a balloon. We don't know if it's a craft.
You can't tell if it's a balloon or a spaceship or car or
flying spaghetti monster. We have no idea. Quote, we do not know who owns it, whether it's state-owned or corporate-owned or privately owned. We just don't know.
There are no markings? Nobody signed
Chinese,
it?
No Chinese lettering on the side?
Wow, okay, so I'm just looking at the options. State-owned, corporate-owned, private-owned. Interesting. Interesting. Okay.
North American Aerospace Defense Command, NORAD, had been tracking the object over the last 24 hours before it was downed near the Canadian border. Pentagon spokesperson Brigadier General Pat Ryder said NORAD first detected the aircraft via ground radar on Thursday and, quote, further investigated it as it flew in a northeasterly direction. So it had been up for 24 hours.
I thought Biden was on this one.
It's going northeast, so it's going just across Alaska. It took 24 hours to get from left to right on Alaska.
So it's not moving super fast.
So, I mean, it literally just sounds like another balloon. It sounds like a tiny balloon. The Pentagon has, quote, no indication the aircraft had a pilot on board, he said. On Friday, the Air Force scrambled 2 F-22 fighter jets from Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, Alaska. Wow, some real details here. Oh, here, one of the fighters fired an AIM-9X Sidewinder missile that hit and destroyed the object. The same aircraft missile combination that downed the high-altitude Chinese balloon last Saturday. This is our balloon destroying protocol. We have a very specific aircraft. We have a very specific missile. And we have done the work. Our genius engineers have decided that this is the best way to destroy balloons. F-22 fighter jets, AIM-9X Sidewinder missiles. No balloon has survived this combination yet. Quote,
we have destroyed it so much that it is now just an object. It's no longer a balloon.
If you are having a child's birthday party, watch out, because we know how to take you down. Quote, we're still assessing what this object was. No kidding. Ryder told reporters at the Pentagon, adding that the U.S. hasn't yet determined the point of origin. Quote, again, we will know more once we're able to potentially recover some of those materials, he said. But the primary concern is that the potential hazard to civil flight. Republicans have spent the past week criticizing, and this is where it comes in. This is the punchline.
Yeah.
Republicans have spent the last week criticizing the administration for not shooting down the Chinese balloon when it was first spotted above the Aleutian Islands near Alaska on January 28th. And so now, something we didn't know, they are now saying that the balloon, the Chinese balloon, had actually been spotted in Alaska before it got to Montana. So they did know about it the whole time, again, coming from Alaska, and then allowed to travel through Canada 2 days later and ultimately into the continental United States over Idaho on January 31st. The Navy is now midway through salvaging the Chinese balloon, and it's blah, 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 blah. Remember the balloon? Remember the other balloon? Look, this is just an object, and we don't know if it's anything. We don't know what it is or who it is or whatever. But remember the Chinese balloon that took the exact same flight path, and we used the exact same plane and the exact same missile to destroy it? Remember that balloon? Well, another one of those happened, but we don't know what it is. And also, Biden is Clint Eastwood, and he's very cool, and he loves shooting down balloons.
Listen to this last part here. U.S. intelligence recently established China's aerial surveillance program. The U.S. intelligence established China's aerial surveillance program, which included balloons of various sizes and capabilities. The balloons have been spotted in more than 40 countries across 5 continents. There's no indication.
Weird.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
It just says the intelligence. Oh, the intelligence recently established.
U.S. intelligence. Yeah.
U.S. So they might be saying like the intelligence, the product of the intelligence agencies. Mm-hmm. But here we go. So here's the end. Uh-huh. There's no indication that so we shot the one balloon. We did very good. We used a plane. We used a missile. We shot the balloon. We killed the balloon very, very good. And then we shot this other thing. We're not saying it's a balloon, but we did use the balloon killing protocols, and it was excellently. It
worked out. It worked out. It's good.
Baby.
Yes.
We killed the balloon. There's no indication that the balloon shot down Friday is linked to the balloon.
No, you read it. You said balloon. It says there's no indication that the object shot down.
You're right.
You're being balloon mind controlled.
There's no indication. I know. I've convinced myself that it was a balloon.
Yeah.
There's no indication that the object shot down Friday is linked to the balloon program, Ryder said. But he added, quote, "I think we're all very attuned to balloons at the moment."
This guy, Ryder.
Oh, trust me.
Everyone's talking about balloons right now.
We know how to spot a balloon. And not only do we know how to spot a balloon, but we know how to kill a balloon. Okay? We're very attuned to balloons at the moment.
Release the other balloon. Don't put any markings. You know, it's
Trump balloon theory.
Trump balloon conspiracy. So, I don't know. There's something weird about this whole thing, obviously. There was a point that I was going to make, but there's too much balloon. Oh,
there's no point.
No, there's no point. But, just thinking about how people talk about how it's a clown show.
Yeah.
Maybe this is literally the clown.
Literally a clown
blowing the balloons up for the show. It's just ridiculous.
We're being invaded by balloons. And remember, the balloons started in Antarctica about it was probably about 6 weeks ago. We were talking about the Antarctic balloons, and we specifically pointed out that the balloons are going to become a very important theme in the New World Order. We didn't know how. We just know how to spot those things.
Unreal. Yeah, we should find that clip.
In the words of government officials, we are all very attuned to balloons right now. This is why you watch the show, folks. This is why you tune in to Canary Grind News Talk, because we attune ourselves to the balloons even before the U.S. government does. I just continue to shock myself, God.
Russia.
Well, you're not the only one shocked.
Yeah.
It's dailymail.co.uk here. Putin is buzzed by color-changing UFO spotted by 4, I don't know why 4 is all capital, 4 Russian planes as he makes speech threatening nuclear war against the West. Wow, there's a lot there. Okay. Pilots in multiple Russian planes reported a UFO buzzing Volgograd, when Vladimir Putin visited the city on Thursday. Ooh, Putin's got his toys out. The extraordinary accounts say the unidentified object, they don't use the flying object either. Unidentified object changed color and height in the sky. A report by Telegram channel Avia Torshna said the UFO was
fancy balloon.
Yeah. Said the UFO was seen and reported to the aviation authorities by the crews of 4 separate passenger planes. Putin had flown to Volgograd under close security to attend ceremonies linked to the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Stalingrad in the Second World War. The incidents came as the dictator hinted that the conflict in Ukraine could turn nuclear following the West's move to supply Kyiv with major supplies of tanks. There it is.
Yeah.
That's why they did the tanks. It triggered Putin. He said, quote, "We don't send our tanks to their borders, but we have the means to respond, and it won't end with the use of armored vehicle. Everyone must understand that. A modern war with Russia will be completely different." Do you think he's flexing his UFOs?
He's showing off his
UFO anti-gravity electromagnetic craft, and then America's sort of starting to show theirs, and everyone's going to start revealing their space weapons.
Well, so there's a couple of things that come to mind here. Number one is, yes, he may be showing off his balloons, his very cool color-changing balloons, or he might be showing off his very cool UFOs. That's one way to look at it, is if Russia as a nation state has something like a UFO. First of all, I think it's very interesting that the sightings of the UFOs were done by people in a passenger plane, because that's exactly where the Chinese balloon was first discovered.
These passengers are on to us.
The passengers in passenger planes looking out the window and seeing a bunch of balloons. So very possible
reports
that this is Russian balloons, color-changing balloons. Very cool. He's trying to throw a party, show off his cool party balloons. Or if they are UAPs or UFOs in the traditional sense, the nation state of Russia showing off, saying, hey, that's fine, you have tanks, we have these cool UFOs. Or the other side of that, depending on your sort of worldview and perspective on the thing, is the UFOs were there sort of observing Russia because of all the reported stories about UFOs sabotaging nuclear launches. And, stories like that, where nuclear launches are happening, or nuclear tests, and the UFOs show up to sort of sabotage it or discourage it or observe it or whatever. So maybe there are just some aliens coming to watch Putin's cool speech, very powerful speech.
Something interesting here. They go through the actual reports from the 4 different flights, and we don't have to go through that. But at the very bottom here, it says the flight paths took the planes to the east of Volgograd, formerly called Stalingrad. All the air routings show major detours to avoid flying close to the war zone in Ukraine before they flew past Volgograd. Oh, that was not as exciting as I thought. All right. Well, the Russian authorities haven't made comment.
Miles, right? They went about 125 miles.
Yeah. So, it's just interesting how all the stories around the world pertain to stuff in the air, and it kind of makes sense. The slow disclosure that's been taking place with the whole UFO topic and creating the council to look into UAPs and blah, 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 all that stuff in the government in the US, it's got to be part of the disclosure of the technology. I don't think it's disclosure of aliens or anything like that. I think that's going to be allowed to flourish for, perhaps mind control or, even business purposes. But in terms of the actual technology, it'll be interesting to see, because, the future, as we move into the future, Basil, we're moving into a time when the great reset must take place. We need better infrastructure. And there's one place where the infrastructure is going to be built, I believe, with some very advanced technology.
What shall we do? What shall we do?
It's Afrofuturism, and tying this to Russia. We have a clip here, and this clip is from Reuters, and it is of Russian foreign minister Sergei Lavrov, and he's in Sudan, and he's doing a little tour, a little press thing, and Reuters reports. Reuters does a translation.
Said the fact that they are running.
Oh no, okay. They do the translation of this guy, Sergei Lavrov, and it's really an anti-American sort of stance here. But I wanted to play it because I think it speaks to the actual geopolitical, but also geographical, almost like a land grab of Africa. We know about Antarctica, but also Africa being this place where it seems like China is trying to be the ones to help develop Russia. And, obviously the West.
Yeah, the
US.
power grab. It's the power grab, the soft control of the African continent.
Yes.
For lots of reasons. Natural resources is one, geographical strategy is two, and labor, three.
Yeah. So in that regard, here he is.
Our friends in Africa, Asia, Latin America understand very well that what is happening, the event and the process that's taking place, is the result of geopolitical games by the United States and its allies to preserve the hegemony in world affairs.
Western countries are concerned about Russia's expanding influence in Africa's Sahel and its border regions. This year will see several visits to the continent by top US officials as part of a diplomatic charm offensive.
Diplomatic charm offensive. I like that. The U.S. diplomats are going to go in there for diplomatic charm offensive. Interesting here.
Lavrov, who at the end of January also visited several other African countries, said the fact that they are running around the world trying to convince developing countries to undermine relations with Russia meant they do not believe in democracy or equality of all states in the international arena.
Which is really ironic, and it's kind of true. It's like, yeah, the U.S. is we're about democracy, but not with Russia.
Except when it makes us money, and then we're fake democracy with economic hitmen and putting third world countries into debt they could never repay in order to sell off their resources to American companies.
Yeah, and there's something about this Reuters report that I thought was very interesting at the end here.
Sudan was cut off from billions of dollars in international financing after military leaders ousted a Western-backed transitional government in 2021.
What was that again?
Yeah, exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Sudan. Let me play that one more time. Yeah.
Was cut off from billions of dollars. Sudan was cut off from billions of dollars in international financing after military leaders ousted a Western-backed transitional government in 2021.
Military leaders ousted a transitional government that was supported by the West in 2021.
It's very similar to what happened in Ukraine. So people don't really talk about it. I think it was 2014. I mean, Zelensky is president of Ukraine because of a Western-backed transitionary government that Victoria Nuland and others, I mean, lots of people actually talking about this now, put Zelensky in charge. He was our guy. Surprise, surprise. And he's we made him a star for it. Well, what happened here is we also did the same thing in Sudan, and the people didn't like it.
The people didn't like it, and they said, get away! Go away.
The military kicked out our guy, and what happens when they kick out our guy? We stop sending them billions of dollars.
Yeah.
So the U.S., we sabotaged. Well, we had a successful, basically, coup in Sudan. We had our guy in, and then people didn't like him because, he's working for us. Kicked him out. They put in their own new government, and so we stopped sending them money. What an awesome opportunity for Russia to show up and talk about how nasty America is. That's exactly what we are, really. That's exactly what he should be doing.
The problem with war, and there's a lot of problems with war, but
the one problem,
the one thing, no, but we've been really hyped up the last few weeks, or I guess a week or two, with the balloon thing and this anti-China sentiment and the CCP and the human rights violations. And we know about all that. but also the U.S. is one of the most, the biggest bully out there when it comes to geopolitical dealings. So, it's just tough to get caught up in all that stuff. At least for
democracy, me. It's democracy when it helps us.
Yes.
Democracy, as long as it helps the United States economy and power structure around the world, then we're all for democracy. But no, we're not going to support democracy if it doesn't help.
Don't bring up, especially with the Ukraine thing and how all the the leadership was placed in there. Don't bring up Burisma or Hunter or anything like that. They're crazy conspiracy theorists, apparently. It's
exactly
part of a radical Catholics or something. But
anyway, Wakanda UFOs. They need to set some things straight.
Hey, that is the. Can you imagine that military meeting? The U.S. reveals we have our UOF 3033, and they show their vehicles, and Russia goes, wait a minute. Putin brings out his light, shape-shifting light, color-changing thing, and then China's got their whole balloon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny, but it's kind of true. I think they're all going to be presenting their high tech, and whoever wins.
Those are cool, man.
Yeah.
They're my favorite thing.
All right.
Speaking of balloons, let's thank some of our producers. Have no idea what those things have to do with each other, but
I'm sure
it's a joke at this point. Like all of our segues are just opportunities for nonsense.
To provide solutions.
Break.
This is break. Don't just consume the content, but
become the content. Become the content.
Take a break.
All right, we're taking a quick break here to thank the producers who contribute with their God-given talent. If you get value out of the show, please provide value back by helping us build the culture behind the community here at Canary Cry News Talk. All we ask is that you make something for the show specifically. And we usually start off with some speak pipe, but I don't think there's anyone there today. So we'll go right into, do we have any audio production?
No, very light day.
Very light
day. Producership across the board.
Okay, well, we'll just go right into the art.
One art, please.
And we will kick it off with Sir Dove.
One art, please, from Dove.
And let me present the piece to the people watching and read the note, which says, "Piece for today's artwork. I made a merit badge for all the Canarians out there that have organized their own meetup. Hope you guys like it. Keep doing what you do, and I'll keep praying for you." And what a great idea.
Yeah, excellently done. Actually, I was just making some progress on the merit badge program, so stay alert, folks, because we're going to need to get some merit badge recipients going here soon. But yes, Sir Dove has been diligently designing the future line of very fashionable, very honorable Canary Cry merit badges. And today we have a design for the meetup organizer merit badge, which we're very excited about. It seems as though my entire situation has frozen, Gons. So while I fix that, why don't you describe the merit badge to us?
The world is cooling, so it makes sense. Freeze. So it's got all the different types of the derpy birds.
The different jobs.
The different jobs. You got the baseball, derpy birds. You got the barbecue.
I got it up now. Yes, We've got the derpy canaries, who I'm now realizing have participated in so many different vocations over the years here at the show.
Very busy.
Like John said, you got the baseball players in the back. You've got the cowboy derpy canary. You've got the German derpy canary.
You've got the
Canadian derpy canary. You've got the ones barbecuing at the grill. You've got the lumberjack derpy canary. These are all the canaries that have showed up on meetup flyers that Sir Dove has made, is what this says. You got the NASCAR derpy canary, the hockey player, the astronaut. It's really a beautiful thing to see all the Canarians of all different cultures coming together. One big meetup. And there you go. So if you put on a meetup, you'll be eligible to receive the Canary Cry Meetup Organizer Badge once that program gets rolling. Very cool. Thank you very much, Sir Dove.
Thank you, Sir Dove. And, there we go. Now it's fixed. We do have another piece of art from Ginger B.
Oh, fun.
But what had happened was something happened to, some backroom stuff here. But the document that people that I get working, from the thing, something happened, but it's fixed now. So I got it here.
It's all right. Yeah, we got it. Here, I got a note from Yvonne here. Says, took my girls to the Hands-On Museum here in Monterey. Quote, my museum, she says. Anywho, my girls wanted me to participate in making crafts with them, and I was having a hard time getting started. I gave him yellow canary feathers, gingerish hair, as I'm assuming he's some sort of Viking. Also, I made sure to put... she's referring to the little guy that she created there at the craft zone at the museum.
Yeah.
I lost one word of this note. I can't read it. But it says, I decided to keep him here on my dash. I still have to add a speech bubble saying, Canary Cry News Talk, baby. I love you boys. Be good and keep doing the Lord's work. Oh, this is from Ginger B. Thank you very much, Ginger B.
The sentence you lost there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had a lot of stuff cut
off.
Yeah,
you lost a lot of stuff.
We gotta Excel spreadsheets, folks. You gotta turn on wraparound text. That's what you gotta do. Turn on wraparound text so you don't have to make the thingy so big. So it says here, it's having a hard time getting started. Then I saw them, lifeless gray eyes just staring at me. So I got to work on the base of an egg carton. I said to myself, I bet I can make a basil. Challenge accepted. There we go. It makes much more sense when I can read the whole note. I gave him yellow canary feathers, gingerish hair, as I'm assuming he's some sort of Viking. Also, I made sure to put Basil Eggman in a pink shirt. LOL. I know he has a hard time remembering. Also, couldn't help but add a puffin. Ooh, that's cute. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes way more sense. That is very cute. Thank you very much, Ginger B. And we have this crafted, beautiful piece with big googly eyes, a big sort of fuzzy VR headset, some canary feathers poking up from the back. We got long, sort of orangish hair flowing in the back, sort of all made out of what looks like a toilet paper roll or an egg carton, wrapped in pink paper of some kind.
Egg cartons. What'd you do with the eggs?
Give
me my eggs, man.
And then you have the other picture up there too with this crazy looking basil thing.
There's a second one?
Yeah, there's another photo that got uploaded to the drive there. It's a picture of this crazy looking basil creature.
Okay, so that's
sitting on the dashboard.
Okay.
Sitting on the dashboard of her car. It should just be in the Google Drive if you're looking for it. It's okay.
Okay, yeah, I can't find it.
You find it?
No. It's the link is not active.
I know. You got to go into the Google Drive. Folks, I'm telling you, once they hit 40, these computers, they start to confusing them.
Clouds? There's some kind of cloud.
Gons lost his ability to even use Facebook like 3 years ago.
Oh,
folks.
More than 3 years ago. Trust me.
No, it was about 3 years ago. Facebook had changed something, and he just
I was done.
He just gave up. It was like worse than trying to get your grandpa.
You know what it was?
We
were trying to do boosts on Facebook or something, and they're like, "Give us a picture of a letter to your house," and I'm like, forget you, Facebook.
No, it's when they moved one button and you just gave up. You're
don't
like,
exaggerate.
Yeah, it's too complicated. This is for young whippersnappers. I don't know how to use a computer.
Okay.
But so, yes, if you go into the Google Drive.
I got it. There it is.
There you go. It's a wonderful picture. Thank you very much, Ginger B. And I apologize for my old man co-host here who lost the picture. Okay. I think that's... Oh, we have some microfiction, I think.
Microfiction. Microfiction.
This first one is from Runk Smash.
The psychonaut smiles. This is enough. If we're lucky, I'll be able to find a way to stop the brain fungus. If only we could go back and stop them from making it, replies the chaplain. But no use fighting God's judgment. I'll set up the tank. Something big is going on, guys.
Yeah, those chaplains are really making a presence.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Runk Smash.
Thank you, Runk Smash. Next one is from Stephen S.
Part of the big game festivities, live performance artist Nadia Obamowicz will beckon the warrior spirits of the First Nation peoples with a spirit cooking offering resembling a man with a badge, boots, a rodeo buckle, and a big Stetson.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about the big game, the big sports ball game this weekend.
Is it this weekend?
I think so.
I noticed marketing had cranked up. I hadn't bothered to take a look.
You know, Twitter is an advertising partner for the Super Bowl.
Well, that should pay some bills.
I think that's what the plan was for Elon there. Yeah.
Well, thank you to all of our artists and creative producers out there. If you're a creative person, an artist, a musician, whatever it is, make something for the show, send it on in. You can head to canarycry.art, canarycry.art to upload your art. Feature it on the show. It's a good deal.
Yep. Let's freeze.
So a new discovery. Antarctica.
Theory in the bottom of our planet.
Advanced
Antarctica. Climate crisis.
Penguins.
It's cold, Basil. It's cold. Antarctica, go first.
Am I doing something wrong? I am.
I have so many answers to that question, but I don't know what you're referring to right now.
Because I don't think this story is about Antarctica. And I think I just realized that.
No, you're right. It's not. This is about space.
My brain has been... I left it out on the golf course, apparently.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. I was wondering. We did not even have an Antarctica article. I thought maybe... Sorry. I thought maybe you had a surprise for me or something.
Space. Wanna go to space?
Okay. This makes more sense. ScienceAlerts.com. Ominous green lasers shot over Hawaii didn't come from NASA satellite after all.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's a photo up here, and I'll play the video for those watching. It looks like... I don't know. There's multiple lines, green lines. It almost looks like a curtain or something up in the sky.
Yeah, well, it looks like lasers shooting
They're
down
lasers,
from the sky. It's a wide shot of an entire night sky. And it's kind of a time-lapse type of video of these lasers equidistant apart, sort of shooting down one by one. It's very strange. And it must be gigantic because you can see the dome of perhaps it's a, what do you call it? Observatory, with the big telescope and stuff below it. And you've got these gigantic green lasers coming down from the night sky, just sort of drifting across the scene here.
So let's see what they say here. Above the islands of Hawaii on January 28th, a green laser was seen piercing the night sky, silently tracing a path towards the horizon like a stutter in the Matrix's code. That's a good way to describe it. The scene was caught on camera from a telescope atop Hawaii's tallest peak. And we were showing the video there. Thankfully, this wasn't some alien spaceship scanning Earth for signs of life. It appears the mysterious green beams actually came from an orbiting satellite, but not the one we expected.
Oh, a different one.
Originally, experts at the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, NAOJ, which co-owns the camera, announced on Twitter that the green light probably came from a radar device on an orbiting satellite known as ICES-2.
ICESat.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes more sense. ICESat-2 is owned by NASA, and it's used to keep an eye on the thickness of Earth's sea ice sheets, and forests.
Yeah,
But-
this is kind of an Antarctica update. We've talked about ICESat.
I think that's why okay, there you go. Maybe that's why I thought in my head that it was Antarctica when I was putting it together. Anyway, but on 6th February 2022, NOWS updated their footage of the laser beam, saying that based on the trajectory, it was unlikely to be NASA after all. Quote, according to Dr. Martino Anthony J., a NASA scientist working on ICESat-2 Atlas, it is not by their instrument, but by others. Others. A note on the YouTube video explains. Oh, okay. You know who else talked about others doing stuff? Is that Secretary of Defense back in 1997. Others making earthquakes and stuff, Quote, his colleagues, Dr. Alvaro Ivanov et al., did a simulation of the trajectory of the satellites that have a similar instrument and found a most likely candidate as the ACDL instrument by the Chinese Daki-1 Ames satellite. Chinese Basil.
Chinese satellite shooting lasers at Hawaii. That's
Quote,
cool.
We really appreciate their efforts in the identification of the light. We are sorry about our confusion related to this event and its potential impact on the ICESat-2 team. China's Daki-1 satellite was launched in April last year, and similar to ICESat-2, it's an atmospheric environment monitoring satellite.
Yeah, kind of like their balloon.
Yeah,
kind of like their meteorological balloon.
Yeah, a little more high tech, I suppose, shooting down lasers. But okay. That means it's in orbit around Earth in order to monitor global carbon levels as well as atmospheric pollution. Daki-1, and this is what's weird with Science Alert here, it turns kind of into a commercial for this thing, for this Chinese spy satellite. Daki-1 contains 5 instruments to help it do this, including ACDL, which stands for Aerosol and Carbon Dioxide Detection LiDAR. LiDAR is an acronym for laser imaging detection and ranging, and it works a little like sonar, but instead of sending out sound waves to map an area, it sends out laser beams.
Pew, pew,
and it's these lasers that are believed to have lit up the sky over Hawaii at the end of January. In the case of ACDL, it can send out dual wavelength lasers at specific wavelengths in order to detect various molecules in Earth's atmosphere. The time it takes for these laser beams to bounce back provides information on the composition of the atmosphere and ground below. For example, blah, blah, we don't care about the example there. It's detecting stuff. In its early days for Daki-1, so we're still waiting for results from its scans. But if all goes to plan, the satellite is just the start of China's plan to keep tabs on air pollution. I think this is going to be a part of the whole carbon credit system and the ESG and all of it. Quote, China will produce a series of Daki satellites in the future, which will be used to monitor atmospheric pollution, provide remote sensing data support for environment authorities, and also support
the Carbon Tax Bureau.
Yeah, and also support scientific research into global climate change. The March 2021 press release explained, quote, Daki-1 will be networked with other satellites, including Daki-2, to realize greenhouse gas monitoring and help China achieve reduction of carbon emissions. It's yet to be seen whether these green atmospheric detecting lasers may become more common as China achieves its goals. Oh, we're going to have more laser. Anytime you see a green laser in the sky now, no, don't worry about it. It's just China taking a look at us.
It is a sort of strange dystopian look into the future. They're trying to make this sound, so innocent and
it's for climate change.
Dangerous.
China just wants to help Bill Gates defeat climate change.
Yeah, it's to save the world. It's to measure air pollution so China can be better and more green, which is weird because, okay, why are you measuring? Go measure your own air, China. Why are you measuring our air?
Hawaii specifically, maybe they see some vulnerabilities,
Sure. I'd be very curious. I mean, of course, and if it's China, of course it has some sort of spying capability if it wanted to, even if it's just spying on our air pollution. Who knows?
Collecting data on the climate, and then we will tax you if you have fart
so
too
in
much
addition to that part of the dystopia, the sort of social credit score, carbon tax pollution
ESG,
bureau,
2030,
ESG 2031
Sustainable Development,
I mean, seeing these green lights shoot down from a satellite becoming a regular occurrence.
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
there they are. They're scanning us right now.
You see
Super
the
dystopian.
scan. You see the scan of the government scanning the air pollution on your property, and you just immediately look down and see your carbon taxes getting deducted from your account.
Your CBDC account is draining. No!
Yeah.
No, I only had 2 hamburgers. What are you doing?
Yeah. I mean, that's not too far off. That's crazy.
Well, I hope the nations each pick a color. You know, they should have picked red, obviously. But maybe,
so we know.
Yeah, and then when Russia does it, it'll be a rainbow, you know, so we'll know it's Putin. This is rainbow colored.
Oh, that'll be ours, of course.
I don't know, man. Didn't you hear
Red,
about
white,
the
and
rainbow
blue?
colored changing shape-shifting thing that the Russians saw?
Oh, the balloon, you mean. The UFO.
The balloon. I forgot. Sorry. Yeah. And maybe that would be good, you know, like a little pattern of balloons, but it's just an illusion. That's your laser.
More balloons, please, Putin. Show us more of your cool balloons.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get out of here, Gons. Your brain is broken.
Thanks. Appreciate it. But you know what's not broken, though? My golf swing. That's right.
Yeah.
My fresh golf swing that I resurrected from age 5.
Neuroplasticity. When you get older, you got to start trading skills out for new ones.
Apparently, yeah.
All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Thank you to the producers who made the show happen. Not just our financial producers or our very talented artists, but also the producers who help out on the back end, making sure we can get way more done than if we were to be put in charge of these things ourselves. Let's start by thanking the Clippies.
Clipping all those videos. Thanks.
That's right. Emsworth, Faye Liverin, they're clipping out the show. They're putting it on the social. They're clipping out for the Clips channel. You should go subscribe to the Canary Cry Clips channel on YouTube and Odyssey. They're awesome. And I did get a correction. Well, not a correction, more detail. We are looking for a producer to help us with the Clippies. This one, I've been told specifically, a producer who is able to schedule the clips to be released. So you do not need video editing experience. No video editing experience required. And if you've been looking for a way to help out the show, put some value back in, this would be a great one. So thank you so much. Just send us an email at canarycryradio@gmail.com. Thank you to our Clippies. And also, thank you to our timestampers.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
That's right. The timestampers timestamp the show. It is so important. It helps out. It has cascading effects of quality, especially on our quality of life, Gons, but also on the content that gets out there. So thank you to the timestampers, and thank you to Christine C. for timestamping episode 588.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christine C.
Thank you to Social Media Gal.
The social media consultant.
Thanks so much. Social media, follow us.
Miss G, the OV, and the Deep Rivers, making sure the art gets out on the social. We appreciate it very much. Yep. Head on over to canarycrymeetups.com.
Ooh, yeah. Okay.
Canary Cry Meetup.
You can go check out the meetups. Head to canarycrymeetups.com. See if there's one near you. There's only one scheduled right now, and it is for February 18th. And that is the EU meetup.
Yeah.
I do not have it in front of me. You want to give us the details that we have there?
18th February at Skate Park Passau, Neuberger Street, 126-94036 Passau.
Now, a little heads up here for EU Canarians, of which there are many, even if they may be spread out. We have gotten some emails about EU Canarians wanting more information to show up to this meetup. So this very possibly could be a decent meetup, especially for being in Europe. We do not have... So I see you have a contact on here, Gons.
Yes.
Were we officially given that contact?
So again, The original message contained that contact. The next email told
Gonzo,
me.
We talked about this last episode.
Yeah, we did.
This is not it. Okay, that is not the contact.
Okay.
So we will get the correct contact. But there you go. If you're an EU person, if you're in Germany or surrounding territories of the European Union, head to Passau. Okay. Oh, and if there's not a meetup near you, say if you're not in Germany, go ahead and put one on yourself. Just pick a time and a place. Let us know about it. We will put it up there and people will arrive. Great way to make friends. Great way to make apocalypse buddies. Go check it out.
There is the Central Florida meetup that is not solidified yet, but that is coming. And you can contact RochelleSchmutz@gmail.com. It's all there. CanaryCryMeetups.com.
This is fun! Here at the meetup.
That's right. Leave some some reviews. No, it's perfect. Go leave some ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts. It's extremely helpful. Helps us out. Helps others out. Helps yourself out, baby. It's good for you. Go let Apple Podcasts know what you think about this show. Oh, it's Friday, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I guess we should read some of these.
Yeah.
I'm only seeing 2. Do you see anything that was posted after the 31st of January?
I do not.
That's 10 days. Yeah. 10 days.
There's got to be a delay.
There's got to be something going on.
Yeah. Because it usually comes in bunches.
Over it. Should we be preparing to retire, Gons?
Yeah, maybe.
Are we done?
That could be.
I'm scared. I'm getting kind of scared.
It could be. Yeah.
We had a good run.
Yeah, it was a good run. Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Let's see. Are there any? I feel like there's some on here that we haven't read. Did we forget to read?
Probably a lot that we haven't read because we were getting a lot of them, especially when you were out for a few.
But we read them on Friday, didn't we?
Yeah, I know. But there was a bunch that I don't know that we have read every single one.
I know. That's not what I'm talking about, Gons, though. I'm talking about these recent ones. I don't remember reading these, but didn't we read? Oh, you read them.
I did? Okay.
That's why. Okay. Thank you very much for those who have left ratings and reviews. Let me try something else. Don't leave us rating and reviews. Don't even think about it. I'll be very upset with you if you leave us any ratings and reviews. In fact, if you do, I'm going to punish you. You'll be punished, and everybody will know it. It'll be humiliating.
Wow.
Don't leave us any ratings.
You're going to release a balloon?
I hate them. I hate ratings. I hate reviews. I hate how they help me. I hate how they make me feel. Yeah. They make me feel sad that people like my podcast. Mm-hmm. So don't do it. Okay. Shh, Gons. Don't worry. I think this will do it. Mm. Thank you to Jam for the links. Thank you to... Runk Smash sent us some links too. Thank you, that we used. Thank you to Clank for the assistance. And other than that, share the show. Share with your friends and your family. You know what? Share it with every balloon you meet. Go to children's birthday parties. Go to car lots. Go to grand openings of mattress stores. Go to other places balloons might be. And just go hug them. Go hug a balloon. They're the most popular being on Earth. The humans have had their time, and it's time for us now to step aside as the most important species on this planet and let the balloons take over, because people care much more about balloons. And I think it's insidious and hateful that our U.S. government is actively hunting down and assassinating all of these beautiful, beautiful balloons floating around our skies. I think there's the humans of the future will look back and think it's barbaric the way that we've treated balloons, tying them up, chaining them to children's wrists at amusement parks, attaching big, heavy lasers to them and floating them over adversarial nations. Balloons, on behalf of all humans, I want to apologize. And with that, I am now renaming this podcast to Canary Cry Balloon Talk. And we will only be talking about balloons. So please go find the balloons, apologize to them, and let them know that there's a very special podcast just for them to learn about all the ways that the mainstream corporate news media does not have their best intentions or whatever, best interests in heart. In fact, there's only one podcast celebrating and defending the honorable title of Balloon. And I think the Balloons might be more inclined to leave us ratings and reviews on Apple Podcasts, Gone. So this might be a total win for us. You don't have to do it that way, but any way you want to share the show, please do it. It helps out. If you need any more instructions, we call it rattling cages. All you got to do is walk right up to him, grab him by the cage, and then you shake it.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages.
Hey, stop that!
You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy.
Leave the bird alone!
Never! Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
That's right. Just ask Noah. Gons, any last words?
Yeah, I found this fun article by PolitiFact called Satellites Are on Balloons and Not in Space from February 5th, and it talks about how there's a bunch of conspiracy theories online about how space is fake and the Earth is flat, and, there's no satellites.
Yeah.
And there's a line in here, all is okay, because it says here, PolitiFact has also debunked multiple claims that space is fake.
Oh,
if PolitiFact is debunking claims about fake space, space has got to be real, right? I mean, PolitiFact wouldn't lie.
You got PolitiFacted. That's their tagline. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Canary Cry News Talk. Make sure to tune in next time. But until then, think outside the cage.
Give me a break. This is the United States of America, for God's sake. Armageddon's on the way.
I've ordered more pills than anyone in the world.
This is the United States of America, for God's sake. Feed him more. Armageddon's on the way.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
Generative AI, like OpenAI's ChatGPT, could completely revamp how digital content is developed, said Nina Sheck, advisor, speaker, and AI thought leader, told Yahoo Finance Live. Quote, I think we might reach 90% of online content generated by AI.
When the news of the day gets to feeling like a maze, it's okay, don't be afraid if you don't know what to say. Canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on to head my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry awaits. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. Oh, the world's changing every day, each and every way you turn, there's another thing to learn. Reading in between the lines, thanking Jesus for our lives, and nice to see His glory shining like a sun. Run the race until it's done. Come on, everyone. Canary, cry awaits. Oh, canary, cry awaits. When your brain's in a haze and a headline days, come on ahead my way, I can help you out the cage. Canary, cry away.
Can I tell you a sort of a twisted pleasure that I have?
It's okay.
Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint. Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint trap.
It takes time. A lint catcher.
I love it, man.
Hey, you gotta clean this out. I was like, a lint catcher. It's a great reset. A lint catcher.
I love it, man.
Hey, you gotta clean this out. A lint catcher.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
I love peeling off that big old lint trap, rolling it into a ball, pulling off that big old lint trap. Just like throwing it in the trash, really. Should I be saving this?
No.
You could knit it into a scarf or something?
No.
Surely. It's very soft.
No.
This would make really good fire starter. You are a weird prepper. Hoarder. Like a weird guy, man. Weird prepper. Not normal, like a weird guy, man. Clearing out that lint trap.
No.
Clearing out that lint trap. Clearing out that lint trap. That lint trap. I know it's gross, folks.
A lint catcher.
I love it, man.
You gotta clean this out. It's like a lint catcher. It's a great reset. A lint catcher.
I love it, man.
You gotta clean this out. A lint catcher.
I love that. I am constantly having to remind myself, wear a pink shirt for the show. Constantly having to remind myself, save the dryer lint, use it as fire starter, knit a scarf, save the dryer lint. Children in the space lane.
I'm an adult in a spaceship.
Supersonic space lane screamed to life and the vehicle swooped upward on board. The passengers experienced a 3 G's of force and the burst of extreme acceleration and watched the blue sky fade into space.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Oh, yeah.
In the back have been cleared to unstrap.
Yes. Do it, Richard. Do it, Jeff. Do it for humanity.
To all you kids down there, I was once a child with a dream. Now I'm an adult in a spaceship.
He can accomplish it. You can too. Big windows, cool. Rocket ship, cool. Space plane, cool.
Nukes,
cool.
Blowing stuff up,
cool. Space plane, astronaut, rocket ship.
Serious anchor.
We have Bezos. He's a human. Just look at him. Go to the bathroom in bags. He can go to the bathroom in the cosmos. It changed everything.
We're all gonna die.
Lives in space. Children in the cosmos. With your best friend brother. Wives in the cosmos. Children in the space lane.
We are headed to space.
resurfacing. Antarctica, Antarctica, Antarctica. Were you ever real? Antarctica, Antarctica, Antarctica. What have you concealed? What you heard, you can't repeat. And what you saw, they must delete. Now you struggle with their lies and deceit, spreading across the land like a disease.
And that's the end. And everyone says, oh, that was fun. Bye, 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 bye. I'm out of here. Bye.
CanaryCryRadio.com/support